Welcome to Touched and Empowered, a show created to empower individuals to value their lives by hosting think tank discussions that will inspire positive action. Touched and Empowered with Katie and Ace starts now.
So, welcome to this episode of Touched and Empowered. Katie here again with Ace. And what are we talking about again today?
So
Oh, new
I was
patterns.
new patterns. I was mid-sentence with Katie, and I was like, "This is what we should talk about."
And I hit record without really paying attention. I apologize for that.
It's okay. I was just flipping the hair because there's a lot going on. I'm cutting it tomorrow, so it's fine. I'm just saying goodbye to it. Um, but new patterns. So after the wonderful, life-changing road trip across the United States twice,
Yep.
I did a lot of different things during that trip. And now that I've set the intention to rest for the next 6 weeks, I ended up doing 4 sessions last week as a transformational coach. And mind you, transformational sessions, they're intensive. We're going to
Yes.
the base of your pain points and then releasing the pain, transmuting whatever needs to be transmuted, extracting the lesson from it, and then somehow intuitively integrating it with next best action steps that are different than what you were doing prior to, right?
Right.
That's pretty much the process of the hour and a half is a lot of energetic healing, really seeing where the pain is, actually accepting, feeling the pain, then releasing it, which takes a lot of energy. And then going through shamanic healing to see what I missed outside of that. Then curating those action steps and communicating them from a place of intuition. So doing 4 of those last week, I love doing it. It was great.
Right.
It actually doesn't take a lot out of me. If anything, it kind of supercharges me a bit.
Which is wonderful that it does that because I've heard of other coaches who have done what I call marathon sessions because it reminds me of marathon runners, which is fine if you rest in between.
Right.
But doing a marathon where you have, for one crazy example, 24 sessions in 48 hours. I know somebody who did this. You there's no recovery time. You tend to crash and burn
That sounds
after that.
that honestly sounds horrifying. Oh my God. Not just for the person who's doing it, but for the people that receive that. Like you just ugh.
Well, to be all fair, was that wasn't an energetic, intuitive healing process.
Right. Like you're
It
not.
it was that was a marathon of interviews for a podcast.
We did something similar for the first 2 months of our podcast. But
We
it was
did not
24.
try and cram 24 individual interviews with 24 different people in 48 hours.
That is true. We did do a lot of interviews at first, though.
We did do a lot of interviews at first, but yeah, take your recovery time, please.
Yeah, no, we're doing that. We're doing that. So my sessions are about an hour and a half long, and then depending, like sometimes they're not, sometimes they're shorter, but it's still the same amount of like energetic shifting.
Right.
Um, on top of that, I moved twice in 3 months, then went on that road trip.
Yes, you did.
Then came back and I wasn't even looking for the clients. I attracted them. They like literally one of them was out in my alley. They were literally out in my alley. And I walked out, heard what she was going through, and I went, oh, that's what I do if you need support there. And
Hey, that works.
and then I got another booking, and I got another booking, and I was just like, this is great. And then I had somebody call me about an emergency, and I was like, this is really nice. And like because it's aligned, it's not too exhausting. It's everything else before that.
Yes.
That's pretty tiring. And it's been nice because I have been giving myself the space of sleep, drink, rest, discover World Series of Poker on my
And clarify, it's drinking water.
drinking water, water.
But yes, the importance of water, sleep, food, self-care, all of that. And of course, your recent discovery of 24/7
World
poker
Series.
TV.
I was like, oh my, you. So I texted Katie, I kid you not, a couple minutes ago saying, hey, we want to record today because we were going to do our normal record time. Then I found World Series of Poker within those 10 minutes, Katie. Within those 10 minutes. And I got
So,
so excited.
so during the 10 minutes it took for me to wrap up my phone call, refill my cup of water, come back to my desk, you were just basking in the awe of poker TV.
Because it was, all right, so
I'm teasing. I'm teasing.
no, I
Explain. Yes, explain why I'm giving you such a hard time. Please do.
so I actually don't normally have a TV in my home. It's actually quite a thing for people my age, apparently.
But yeah,
Oh,
because
I'm sorry. People my age, they have TVs. I go with the younger generation. We don't, we just have phones and laptops, doesn't matter.
phones, laptops, tablets,
Yeah. And then to help de-stimulus, I used to love just not having a TV. Because then I could
right?
just sit here in quiet and just finally sleep. But my mom came to visit me, so it meant that she needed a TV. I didn't, she did.
Right.
Right. So I'm like, okay, fine. We'll get a small TV. Then I started downloading the apps. I saw that you can stream channels through something
Yep.
for free. I was like, okay,
Yeah,
whatever.
there's a couple of different streaming services that don't cost you anything, but you have what to watch commercials or something.
Yeah, apparently. And then I see World Series of Poker, or like WPT, World Poker Tour. And I'm like, yes, there is a difference. So I used to date somebody. I'm giving you the backstory of this. I used to date somebody who loved the cooking channel. Absolutely loved the cooking channel. Would put on the cooking channel every day, whenever he wanted. Like just that's the leisure TV. Even like
Right.
at 4 in the morning. So guess which one mine was? Ace is a reason, folks. Like there's a reason behind my name for that one. I love poker. I grew up around poker. I used to watch people play poker at houses. Rounders came out for that generation
hmm
of sisters, so that meant all of her guy friends watched poker and I watched them play poker. And they also trained me in poker. So poker, my parents also, funny enough, they were very strict when I was in high school. They would not let me sleep over at anyone's place, but they would let me go out and play poker because they knew I'd come back home. They also knew I actually like I kind of had one of those obsessions for it because I like just loved it. So became so obsessive to the point where they were like, "Oh, she's probably gonna go pro," and she's good at it, so fine. Because
Oh,
yeah, they used to stake me, and anytime I would go to like a casino that was legal for my age at the time.
yep. Not many.
Huh?
I said there are not many.
They're not there's cruises, there's Indian reserves where you can before you're 21. And they would give me like 200. I would always give them the 200 back because I would make what
Right.
but anyway, so that was something that like I just, I enjoyed doing it. And now it's on my TV in those 10 minutes. New pattern.
New pattern.
Old pattern, but new because I haven't done this in 5 years. I actually looked for it too. I remember I was online looking for poker. Like there was a time where I wasn't working my butt off, and I had like a good month of pivoting of I don't know what venture I want to do yet. And I remember sitting and looking for World Series of Poker on YouTube. There was nothing. Nothing. I was like, how is there nothing? Now I do look like a mad person, but I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, it I have to give you a hard time about it because I find it hysterical that one, the first thing you said to me getting on the call was like, I found this 24/7 poker channel. And I'm laughing because about 3 months ago,
Mm.
I mean, I have a TV, I have streaming service, but I don't watch a lot of it because I'm usually working on it eh, or working on my computer. But I had it on, that's what it was. It was Christmas. It was the week between Christmas and New Year's. So about a month ago. Because I actually like took a day off and I was scrolling. I have Amazon Prime, so I was scrolling through and they've got a couple live channels. And I'm like, okay, let me see what they have. And they have a whole bunch of stuff. They got the cooking channel, they got some kind of travel channel, you know, not the same stuff that they have on cable, but whatever. But then I found things like the 24/7 dinosaur channel, the BBC Planet Earth channel, the Project Runway channel.
That one I would probably watch.
And I'm like, they've done so many seasons or so many episodes or whatever for that topic or theme or whatever that someone decided to put together a streaming channel for it. I've not sat down and watched any of them. I just found it very hysterical that when my son was a lot younger, all he wanted to do was watch dinosaur stuff, and now he has access to a 24/7 dinosaur channel, which he does not watch because he's too busy watching
Other things.
Attack on Titan or some other
They will
anime thing that I have no idea what the heck it is.
They're gonna have a 24/7 One Piece channel soon. I know it. There's so many episodes.
24/7 One Piece?
There's so many episodes in that series. Oh my gosh. I
Oh,
don't
that's a name. Okay, this is how far out of the loop I am. I didn't know One Piece was the title of a show.
Oh, it was an anime. It's an anime. It's
I didn't know that.
if you see people with yellow hats and a red ribbon, they're paying homage to One
Okay.
Piece.
Okay, that's good to know.
Oh my, that's I so what I have learned about the psychology behind One Piece, the show. I'm doing these tangents because they're relative. I've
Okay.
learned that if if a couple watches One Piece, they're gonna be together for life. Do you know how long it takes to finish that entire series? That takes dedication. That takes loyalty.
Dedication.
Dedication and loyalty. Like they will bond forever. Psychology.
I you know how little I know about all of this stuff. I mean, come on. I got to just witness K-pop Demon Hunter
Yes, that was
over the
important.
holidays,
That was very important.
which apparently was very important. It was a requirement for my life, I was told.
Still important.
And that song still gets stuck in my head.
Da 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 da. Da, 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 da. Anyway,
Arr. It's a silly soda pop song.
silly sort of pop song. But look, it's a new So, all right. So, all right,
I don't care whether it's trending or not. It's as a parent, it's annoying to have. It's like having the theme of double mint gum stuck in your head from the 80s.
oh my God.
That's what the soda pop song is doing to me. It's like nonstop on repeat.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about this as I keep trying to fix my hair. I'm getting really annoyed with it. But anyways, so
Sorry, that was a tangent.
it's a good tangent. You know why?
Why?
Because as we're talking about different types of patterns, we haven't talked about this stuff before.
True.
Current dreams, future realities, new beginnings. This is a card that just popped out as I've been shuffling. Coming from,
Well, that's a good one.
yeah, coming from the Healing Waters deck by Rebecca Campbell. We'll put the link in the bio below. And then the second card that popped out, release the past, forgive, soften, move forward. So a lot of what these 6 weeks for me is sleep, rest, and then basically wake up different and do something
Yeah.
different. Don't get me wrong, my normal schedule, my work schedule is still the same. I still have specific times for meetings. I still have my weekly meetings, but in between those times, there's a lot of good opening and good space for me to bring in something new, release the old. There's been a lot of decluttering. That's why this background is pure white.
But no, it's interesting that you're saying that because, I know I've mentioned previously about the certifications that I've been going through
Mhm.
for the past several months. But I was challenged to read a book. And I didn't want to read it because of the title of the book. The book is called The Greatest Salesman in the World.
Ugh.
So needless to say, the title by itself, without context, does not sound appealing to me at all. However, I will say that I'm I went through the book and I didn't go through the book. I'm sorry. I read the first 7 chapters, which tells a wonderful story about someone having a dream that they want to achieve, but wasn't sure how they were going to do it. So their mentor was going to give them scrolls or steps to build the muscle, so to speak, to accomplish their dream. And to be honest, it's really about how to create better habits and better mindset and rewrite the inner dialogue that we have about ourselves. So even though I'm not happy with the title, I they're doing it from that perspective. But the lessons of it are actually pretty interesting. But it's you listen to one step or no, I'm sorry, you're supposed to read. I listened to it on my audiobook and read it. But you're supposed to read step one for 30 days before you move to help build the habit
Right,
before
right.
you go to the next one. And I mean, it's more in depth than that. It's actually read it 3 times a day for 30 days.
Oh,
When you get up in the morning, after mid-meal, and then before you go to bed at night.
yeah, you can do that.
Yeah, you could do that. It's one way to create habit.
Yeah, yeah.
It's interesting.
I recommend people looking up their human design to make sure that
Yes,
will work.
that's true.
I just recommend it. Um, but yes,
Yeah,
I
because that I just realized that the reason that I'm doing this is to remind myself that if I put my mind to something and commit to it, I can get it done.
there you go. Okay, okay, all right.
So for me, it's a right now daily reminder. I am choosing to get up in the morning to do this because I'm choosing to improve myself. So I build better habits. So
That's great.
that's the plan, anyways.
No, that's great. Honestly, any so books and a new book, if you actually read it, not just like I know Katie's actually reading it, but some people they'll just read through a book, just read through it, but not actually absorb the
Right.
true knowledge or wisdom behind it. If you do that with a book, you really actually read it, what ends up happening is your habits will immediately change.
And I think that's why this author said to, for lack of a better term, read this chapter every day for 30 days. Well, he
So
says
that
three
they'll
times a day for 30 days. But
just read once a day. Get it? Like really.
even just it, once a day for 30 days, one is making sure that you absorb the message. It's helping you relay it into change the context so it relates to your life. I don't want to be the greatest salesperson in the entire world. I do want to have the confidence of the greatest salesperson in the entire world.
For anyone, I agree with Katie. This tip has been like floating in my mind for the last 20 minutes as I've been doing my best to stay present, but now it's like fighting. Um,
Hmm.
if you want to become a salesman, and let's say you're early in your career,
Yeah.
in any way, shape, or form sales, um, be an assistant. Be an assistant for a year, and you'll understand why I'm saying that. Because you are coordinating with people on time. So you're learning to negotiate by coordinating time. You are also understanding how people work and function based off of what they're doing, how they're doing it, not just one person, but everyone that they're working with, so that you can get the psychology behind who they are, how people really work, depending on which industry, and if it's a macro platform of whatever you're doing, you're going to be working with different types of mindsets, different types of working styles. You're going to be working with different types of backgrounds and ethnicities, and then being able to see how all of that counterplays to each other, and then negotiate time with each person. That, I promise you, just doing that for a year, sales is going to be very easy.
Well, I would challenge that even if you don't want to get into sales, whatever field you want to get into, find a mentor already in that field and be their assistant.
That and actually properly interview, not just have them properly interview you, but properly interview them. See how much you're going to be able to learn from them.
Right.
The more you can learn from that one individual, the longer you're going to be with them. Versus, and I'm saying this on a universal level, if you are somebody's assistant and the time for you to be with them is very short, you've already learned your lesson there, and it's time for you to go somewhere else. So it's good to find somebody you can really grow from, not
Right.
just in spurts, because that gets annoying and unemployment gets tiring. So next, I want to say that out loud.
So, since we've talked about shifting patterns and creating new habits and finding mentors to guide us when we know what direction we want to go in life
Or not. You
or
don't
not.
have to know. You actually
That's
don't
true.
have to
You
know
don't
which
have to you don't
direction.
have to know. You could just find somebody who fascinates you and be their
Go from
assistant.
there. Yeah. Seriously, that's all you need to do. Especially if they're hiring.
That's true. I that's what wasn't that the whole purpose behind what was it? Apprentice and then juryman and to learn a trade way back in the they might still do it now, but I just think back in the day.
You still get apprenticeships. Like being an assistant now is actually
Hmm.
akin to that. Unless it's like, no, they need a career assistant. Like they really need somebody who helps them keep their life together. Like, that's a little different. But yeah, usually
That's true.
yeah. It's also
That makes sense.
fulfilling. It's fulfilling to have an assistant.
I wouldn't know because I'm used to being the assistant. I'm not used to having an assistant.
But you're teaching people now.
That's true. I am teaching people now.
And that's what it is. When you have, I know this one, I thought this was the most brilliant thing, like structure to have. She had the career assistant because her life really was that crazy. Um,
Hmm.
then she had her her manager director, which was basically another level of assistant, but she was mentoring them directly. She was the one really making sure that um, he was starting to understand her mind so that he could go off,
Anticipate.
not just anticipate, but take the lessons from what she's doing and
Ah,
integrate it into what he can do, either for the company or for whatever he's going to do later, right? Because when you're being able to output that information into somebody and know that it's going to be taken somewhere else, it's really fulfilling.
that's true. And there's a difference between passing knowledge and passing wisdom. And I really do think that the what you described with that one-on-one mentorship, with the explaining on the processes on how the brain works, so then that way they can then solve the puzzle based on those. That guiding aspect of it is really a mentorship aspect versus somebody that you just pay to get a course from.
Right, exactly. You're kinesthetically teaching somebody what you
Right.
do, and that's probably the highest form of education you could ever find, right? Um, I've had a few of those. That's why I'm saying like, oh yeah, I like everything that they kind of shared with me, not just based off of the knowledge that they were
Hmm.
giving me. The knowledge helped me not make mistakes, bad ones.
Right.
That was great. Very helpful. Thank you. But when oh, the mistakes I could have made. But the also the wisdom behind why that knowledge is practical and applicable in any situation was really important to hear as well.
Yeah. So I think finding mentors is fantastic. And just because someone calls them a mentor, calls themselves a mentor, vet them. Just because someone calls themselves a coach,
Oh, I see. I
vet
was
them.
like, vet them, vet them. Yeah, no, so
Just because you don't know if you can work with them or not, because your personalities might clash. Two, is it something that they really experienced, or are they just repeating something they heard?
right. And there's actually, so on a faith-based scale, because from Nichiren Buddhism and I practice the SGI, a lot of our spiritual practice is based on a mentor-disciple relationship. A mentor
Right.
started practicing what we practice, and then from there, the disciples follow. Here's the fun thing that I've learned, or at least I think it's fun, but that's subjective. Um, the disciple chooses the mentor, but the mentor never doesn't choose the disciple.
Oh, no, that's interesting. And that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, the disciple chooses to follow a mentor. The mentor doesn't control the disciple to follow. It's very
That's true. But no, that makes perfect sense because that would I could see that applying to, say, for example, a music student choosing to follow the violinist versus the composer, depending on whatever their preferred discipline is under the umbrella of music. So it would make sense from that standpoint because it's much better to encourage those around you to grow versus drag them along.
right, right.
And if a disciple chooses to be with you, they're going to do the work.
You're going to do the work, but only as much as you do it yourself. So the fact of
That's true.
as a mentor, right? If you're being a mentor, you have to grow. And to the
Oh, yeah.
level of you growing is how many people will find interest in you. If that makes sense. I'm trying to do this in a humble way, not like
Yeah. How many will ask for your knowledge?
I've had a lot of people ask me pretty recently. Somebody was a little it kind of scared me. Somebody asked me like, "Hi, I just want to get your advice on a bunch of things," and they gave me like a list of questions, and I was like, um, like,
Interesting.
yeah, but sorry, tangent. Back to the patterns. We were talking about so a mentor will also help you guide your patterns. Here's the thing: have you ever read? It's an awesome book by Robert Greene, not 48 Laws of Power. That one was a little whoa, but Mastery
Okay.
by Robert Greene. He talks about like three different stages or four different stages of mastering. I don't remember. It's been a while since I read the book, but there were these two stages that I found really interesting. So one stage is the mentorship stage, when you find a mentor and you learn what they do, and you
Right.
Basically do the kind of similar to the 3 steps a day, a three
Hmm.
reading it a day, or the Mr. Miyagi just continuously doing this one.
Yeah, wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off, wax on, wax off.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And like you trust the mentor, and then you eventually realize why the habit was built, right?
Right.
There comes to a point where after that phase is done, now it's you. It's just you. You don't get the feedback from the mentor anymore. You get the feedback from where? Where do you get it? Right? Like that's the question. And
Mm.
three of the different, actually we can ask Shadowbane, but one of the, there's different ways of feedback. But one of the big ones, the biggest indicator, public response.
Oh, that makes sense.
How does the public respond to what you created? Did it fail? Now it's not about embarrassment. It's about that's real feedback. That wasn't good for the public. Do this instead. This is working. Okay, that's how they like it. It's working. Great. This is pissing someone off. Oh, it's working. That's great. Like that's how you know, based off of what people, the feedback that you're receiving on what you've created. That's how you know, not from a mentor, no one's telling you anymore. It's based off of, is it truly giving to an audience? And I thought that was really interesting because that's where most people in mastery either fail or just stop. They just stop their trade.
Right.
They don't have the direction anymore, and it's scary. It's vulnerable. Like you have to be open to public assault, public
Public opinion?
public opinion. Assault is part of that too. But you are, and it's in that space. That's where you kind of, you have to develop your confidence in your skin to know, okay, that's just feedback. That's how I pivot. That's how it works. Um, but most people don't continue down that path because it's scary.
Because it's unknown.
Oh no, no, it's possible that you can totally get assaulted. It's like
Okay, so
or sued or whatnot, but you have to. So
a
that is
lot more
like,
in depth than where Katie was going with that. Thank you for solidifying that to making it resonate with the reality of Katie's world.
yeah, that's that's what that really means. Because I love the perspective changes here, how that develops between both of us. Have I been
Well,
assaulted
I
by
mean,
my opinion before?
we have, huh?
Have I been assaulted by my opinion or what I've created before?
Uh,
Yeah, I have.
I don't know if I've been, okay, well, I guess
Verbally,
verbal. Yeah, verbally
verbally
is.
assaulted, homelessness assaulted doesn't count. That's just I walked outside, so they didn't know who I was. But
But I mean, if I think about it, there are moments in history about people who were speaking their truth, and there were those in the populace who did not agree with it, and the outcomes were not that great.
yes, and
So
yeah,
now that I have some comparison, something of contrast, my brain can now go, that makes sense.
right, yeah. The part where I was like, oh, they really don't, they hate what we're doing. It's working. that, that contrast right there. I'm just giving you a humorous perspective on that.
Yes,
So please don't
which we appreciate the humorous perspective on it because it's always better to laugh and raise the vibration level when we're talking about something that might be a smidge serious.
I mean, yeah, why do you think some of the most amazing individuals who have created incredible amounts of impact and change in our society have had so many assassination attempts? It's just a thing. When you're doing, the more powerful you are, the more, there's always a challenge that meets you almost in that same way. Although I really don't want, that gives me a positive understanding of why I have almost died so many times in the past couple of years.
I'm just going to leave that alone.
Anyways, everyone, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Touched and Empowered. We always appreciate you hanging out with us, and we will see you guys next time.
And also, just to give you an idea of the diligent change between then and now, I vigilantly stay alive. Do that in your home. All right, I'm done. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you for joining us. We hope that the discussion today will inspire you to take positive action in your life. Until next week, be empowered.